Whenever you're ready to go, introduce yourself.
My name is Mia Morbid. I'm a tattoo artist, and I work in Diego Tattoo Gallery.
Wow.
Yeah.
So when did you start tattooing?
I started tattooing October of 2016. I got an apprenticeship. It lasted about a year. It was horrible.
Why is that?
I feel like they gave me a lot of hell, honestly. They didn't teach me the correct ways, and then at some point they just like kind of gave up and was just like whatever. But they're like, you still need to follow the rules.
And were you paying for this apprenticeship? Because I know some apprenticeships you got to pay for, right?
Yeah, some of them you do, but no, I didn't have to pay for this one. Thank God.
So, all right, walk me through this. Like, if as far as an apprenticeship, what do you do exactly? Are you like they teaching you what and how to format the machine gun itself, or what?
Yeah, well, at first it kind of starts out with just learning like sanitization and like bloodborne pathogens, which is like the number one thing that's very important when it comes to tattooing. And then after that, you kind of get thrown in there, and it's just kind of like, here you go, here's a machine, you got to put it together, learn how to like tear it apart. And basically after that, it's like learning how to go on skin, which sucks. It's so fucking scary. It's so scary.
Why is that though? Like, isn't it? Don't they give you that fake skin? Does the fake skin feel the same as much as the real skin?
No, not at all.
No,
I wish it did, because I remember it was like the first time ever. I remember my mentor was like, here's some ink, here's the gun, I set it all up for you, here's some fake skin. And I was like, cool. I'm like pouring the ink and I'm like shaking. And he was like, you're shaking already? I'm like, I've never done this, like I don't know what the fuck to do right now.
Yeah.
And next thing I do is like I grab the machine and I'm like going on the fake skin, and it goes all the way through the skin onto the armrest. So I was like, great.
Oh, so you're actually putting a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
Right? Oh, that's when you start scarring skin, right?
Yeah, and you can do like this thing. It's called like blowout. So it goes underneath the skin, and the ink just kind of spills out all over.
Okay.
Yeah.
Damn. So from there, how was your first tattoo? Like that person that you tattooed? Because I know you had mentioned prior to this that you were tattooing way before this.
Yeah. All my family members, they like to throw that shit in my face all the time. They're like, look at what you did on me. And I'm like, I don't want to see that. Can we please like cover it up? And they're like, no, this is where you started. And I'm like, great.
And did you have do they tell you that you have a heavy hand or a light hand, or what have you been told?
I definitely had a heavy hand back then. Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely had a heavy hand. Now, like, I get no complaints at all from anybody. So that's pretty good.
That's pretty dope.
Yeah.
So why tattooing?
It's just always been like my calling. I feel like when I was around 7 years old, I had seen it, of course, from like Miami Ink and LA Ink. So I was like, oh my God, like I want to be just like that.
Like
and I didn't
Kat
know.
Von D, right?
Yeah. And I also didn't know that at the time, you know, females could be in the industry. I thought it was just like male
dominant.
Yeah. So when I saw her on there, I was like, oh, like I can actually do that. I can actually be that. And then I also grew up in like a family full of artists. Like my grandfather here, he's done a lot of like the murals in Chicano Park.
Okay.
He did the Barrio Logan sign. So I was like, I need to follow somewhere in these footsteps. So that's why I chose like tattooing.
Oh shit. So like naturally it's kind of in your genetics to be an artist.
Yeah.
That's pretty dope. Yeah. Oh shit. And what did your family say when they told you that, when you had told them that you wanted to be a tattoo artist? Did they look at you crazy or no?
A little bit, but at first, like I felt like I didn't really have their support, only because they knew I wasn't making a lot of money. I was making probably 20% of everything I was charging every day.
Which was, if you don't mind me asking?
It was probably like $20.
Oh shit.
Yeah, $10 to $20 a day for a whole year.
Holy fuck. And were you working anything else, or this was like your primary job?
It was my only job. It was my only job, and I also had to like pay Uber every day because I had no car. I was 19. I had no car, so I would Uber to the shop every day. So all that money was just getting, of course.
Yeah, it's just going back.
Yeah.
Okay. So when did you feel like that your work started improving?
It started improving after my apprenticeship. So I had gotten fired / quit. It was a horrible like shop breakup. I remember I like It was just horrible.
That's
I'm not
pretty
even, but it was horrible. And then I started working at my daughter's dad's shop. He owns the shop, and I was like, you know, like I want to, of course, like pursue tattooing, but I don't know if I have what it takes. And he was like, well, I know you want to do portraits, so why don't you try to do your first portrait?
Yeah.
So I was like, you're right. And so I did it, and then it just kind of took off from there.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
And do you what do you like prefer? Do you prefer portraits? Do you have black and white? Do you like color? What's your go-to for say?
Black and gray all the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. No color.
Why is that? Is color hard?
Color is a little difficult for me. I don't have the patience at all. It takes a lot more packing, and it's just a freaking mess. There's just colors everywhere. I don't like it. And I just feel like black and gray is just a lot more smoother. It's also timeless. It's like a black and gray photo, you know, you can't go wrong with that.
So black and gray, so it's less time consuming. Is it easier to cover up any mess ups?
Sometimes, like say if another artist does like a tattoo and it's very light, I could go over that, no problem.
Okay. And what's most like, do you get ever like guys or girls look like kind of hesitant going to a girl tattoo, like from what you've seen?
I get more guys that are more hesitant. Yeah. Yeah, they're always like, are you sure? Like, you're the tattoo artist? I'm like,
oh shit.
Yes, I'm your tattoo artist. Like, can I help you? For the longest, they're like, are you like just here to take like my information? I'm like, no. Like, what?
Like straight out stereotyping you already.
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
Yeah, like I'm the assistant there.
Huh. And how'd you feel about that?
I just took it with a grain of salt. I was like, whatever. You'll see me one day.
So I noticed that you have a lot of ink yourself. Like, which one was your first one?
My first one was actually on my ribs. I was 18, right after my 18th birthday. The next day, actually, I was in San Francisco. And I told my parents, I was like, this is it. Like, I need to get my first tattoo. And they're like, all right. So they took me, and then they left me to go get tacos. But I was done. And they're like, did it hurt? I'm like, no.
Oh, so you can actually take the pain tolerance.
Yeah, I was pretty good at that.
That's funny.
Yeah.
It's because like I know a lot of tattoo artists that have tattoos, they hate getting tattooed, which is kind of weird, right? I mean, I myself, like when I got my tattoos, like I feel like they fucking hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. They fucking hurt, especially in the neck. Right here, started feeling like beef jerky. But
oh yeah.
Like for you, what about the chin?
That was the worst one.
Yeah.
That was by far the worst one. I thought my hand was really bad, but my jawline was excruciating. I felt it all on my teeth.
So you could actually feel the vibration.
Yeah, it sucked.
Oh shit. So, you mentioned you have a baby.
Yeah, I do.
So how old is she?
She's about to be 3 years old.
Okay.
In April, right after my birthday.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And does she look at your tattoos?
Sometimes. For the longest, she was like, "Oh, I want tattoos. I want tattoos." And then I got like a giant pack off of Amazon, and I always put like fake tattoos on her. Everyone thinks it's so cute.
So she actually wants to follow in mama's footsteps. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So how's that transition like, working between like tattooing, being the mom? How's that life work balance you find yourself in?
It's very difficult. I feel like a lot of people that get tattooed by me either understand my dynamic or they don't, because I'm a single mom. I take care of her 5 days out of the week.
Okay.
And it's only me and her. We live alone, you know. So after work, I have to go all the way down to Chula Vista, pick her up, and drive all the way back up to like near my shop, and get her all situated. It takes a long time.
Yeah. And going to that, like, how does that work for childcare? Like, do you have family helping you out, yourself, or?
Yeah, I have my parents helping me out, which I'm so grateful for.
Because I started following you a while back, and I noticed that you progressively got your own studio, which was pretty awesome. Like, I think that's a huge life moment accomplishment, right?
Yes, I was so happy.
The independence, right?
Yeah.
So what was the first thing you did when you got your own spot?
I just moved everything in, and I freaking opened like 2 bottles of tequila, invited my friend over, and we just drank for like a whole night or two.
So now that you're on your own, like, what do you feel like? What do you find yourself like, as far as adult life? What do you feel like it's been most difficult?
For the most part, I just feel at peace. But I mean, of course, when the bills come, it's a struggle. Because sometimes, of course, like with the holidays, it does suck because nobody wants to spend their money on tattoos. Yeah. So a lot of the time you'll see like tattoo artists doing like specials around the like holidays or like gift certificates and stuff like that.
So with this whole COVID thing, did it really affect your business as well?
At first it did. I took like a month off.
Oh shit.
And I was like, you know what, COVID is gonna like just mellow out, it'll be fine. And then after that month I was like, it's not going nowhere.
Oh shit.
I don't know what to do. So of course, a lot of me and like my friends and coworkers, we were all like, well, we still have to work, we have to make money. So we would open like the back doors of the shop, of course, like cover the hell out of the shop so nobody could see that we're working. But it was hard. It was like, yeah.
Would you guys like so it's only pretty much their like clientele base, right? Like, did you guys ever get like cops like knocking or like anybody like investigating, poking their head in there, or no? Was that ever a voice of concern?
It was a concern. I think it happened maybe once or twice.
Oh wow.
But luckily I wasn't there, and everyone just pretended that they weren't there either.
Oh, so they were knocking in the sense to see.
Yeah, nobody opened the doors.
No, duh.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Imagine. Hello.
No, I know. I would have been like, oh shit.
Okay. So, were you always this like confident talking to people, like tattooing people yourself, or like being a very extrovert? That's the word.
No, I feel like I'm very introverted, especially nowadays. Like I keep my circle very small, and I talk to my clients, and I just talk to my family, and that's it. Like I don't really. You don't really go out much.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, because you know, maybe like just scrolling through your Instagram page, like I seen you did a photo shoot. Like I feel like you got to be very bold and very confident to do that. How was that like?
That's easy for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. At first, like it's a little hard, but as long as like I'm comfortable with the photographers and all that, then it's a breeze.
Okay.
Honestly.
And have you ever had experience where it was kind of weird, or like kind of like not vibing off your like your vibe? You're kind of creeping me out.
No, I mean the thing that like got like the weirdest, I guess I would say, was when me and my photographer decided that we were just gonna like stay there at the hotel and just like sleep it off because it was like late. Like we finished at like 2 a.m, and I was like, I'm not driving right now. Like I'm tired. Mm-hmm. And so we just stayed there. But it wasn't like weird. He was very nice. But that's pretty much it. And if I get any weird vibes, I'm like, I'm not shooting with you. You're not shooting with that. Yeah.
So, because I noticed that you post on your Instagram a lot, like contact through email for a tattoo appointment. Do you get a lot of people still like kind of ignoring that and shooting you straight DM?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So I kind of like set up like an automatic response where if they do DM me with like certain wording, it'll send them like an automatic response.
Oh, wow.
Please like email me instead.
Okay.
But I try to like remind them on my story. All the time.
Yeah, daily.
Yeah.
I see it. Please, not email. Yeah.
Yeah, but people don't like to read sometimes. I'm like, what the hell?
And what's the most common question that you get on Instagram?
How much? Mm-hmm. Can you do this? I'm like, yeah.
Okay.
Have you looked at my work? Like I could do the same thing that you're asking for.
Okay. And do you ever get guys like hitting on you like straight off like the bat, like just avoiding the whole tattoo conversation type of thing?
You know, I've actually had people email me trying to hit on me.
Oh, that's pretty
interesting. I'm like, why?
Yeah?
So that's weird.
They're like, well, if she ain't gonna respond to email, she might as well respond to email, right? That's funny as hell.
I'm like, dude, come on. But I just ignore it every time.
That's crazy. I would not expect that. Well, kind of. I mean, I get that. But recently, have you ever messed up on somebody's tattoo?
Recently, no. I feel like the last one that I did, like, quote unquote, messed up on was this girl. She got like her dad's name or something, but she spelled it wrong, and then so I spelled it wrong. Oh no. And yeah. So I don't think I fixed it yet, but yeah.
So how do you fix that? Was it like black and white or what?
Yeah, it was just like some thin lettering that's like easy to cover up. I would cover up with like a rose leaf or something easy.
Okay. And do you find yourself like getting bored of doing certain tattoos? Like what's the common tattoo that you find a lot, like people asking, oh, can you do this?
I hate doing butterflies.
Yeah?
I hate doing butterflies. They're so tiny and so intricate, and you have to just go around every little like circle. Oh my God. I hate butterflies.
And what's the hardest tattoo that you found yourself doing that kind of took you a little like by surprise, like, all right, maybe I should have bit this, or you don't like to think that way?
I don't really think that way, but I feel like when I started doing the mini dog portraits is when it kind of like threw me off a little because I was like, I've never been prepared to do something so tiny, like this small. So that took a little bit of practice, and now everybody wants them. So
Yeah, no,
cool.
they look pretty dope. I was looking at them. I was like, holy hell, that's like, how long does that take though? Like doing those dog tattoos?
It takes about like 2 to 3 hours.
2 to 3 hours.
Yeah.
And how big are they?
They're anywhere from like an inch to like 3 inches.
Oh shit. And what's the price tag on that usually run?
Right now they're like $250.
250.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not even that bad.
No.
Okay.
It's small.
So what's your next goal, like, as far as tattooing? Like, where do you see yourself, like, ideally?
Ideally, I would like to move out of San Diego, of course. I don't know exactly where yet, but I would, of course, love to open up my own little studio and just have, like, me and somebody else working at some point. But that's my goal as of right now. And then after that, I would love to have a bigger shop and have a lot more, like, women empowerment, tattoo artists, and, like, all that stuff.
And do you feel like there is a lot of room of growth for that? Like, a lot of more women could enter the industry?
Yeah, there is a lot right now, but I feel like a lot of them are either, like, stingy or they just, like, you know, they're just like, oh, this is, like, a competition kind of thing.
Okay, they kind of, like, see it as a, like, not trying to help each other out type of thing.
Yeah.
Like, I'm better than you type of thing.
Yeah.
Huh.
Like, it's more of, like, an attractiveness scale, which I'm like, I don't care about that.
Yeah,
like,
I
just want some girl homies. Like,
yeah. That's funny. So I noticed that you have your tongue split.
I do.
How was that?
It was horrible. Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. It was horrible. I couldn't eat for a whole week.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
What made you want to do that?
I saw it, like, I was probably, like, in 2nd or 3rd grade when I saw it in the Guinness Book of World Records. Yeah. So that got me, and I was like, I need to do that one day. And I almost got it done back in, like, 2017, 18. But I had just gotten out of my apprenticeship, so I was like, I don't have any money for that.
Oh, shit. How much did it cost you?
Around, like, 500.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Yeah. It was pretty easy, though.
Is it like one full session, or was it like multiple sessions? Because I thought it was multiple sessions. You're supposed to slit it slowly but surely.
One full session.
Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah.
What the fuck? You actually move it like that? Did it take long to learn?
A little bit, yeah.
What the fuck?
I love creeping people out. I'm like, it's fun, especially when you go to the bars and people are like, all right, that was sick. Here's a free shot. I'm like, thanks.
That's funny. That's a hell of a dope conversation opener right there. Like,
yeah. Yeah, I even got my apprentice to, I like gave him the guy's information and he went with him. He just got his done maybe like 2-3 months ago.
Okay.
So he's pretty cool.
And will your tongue ever heal back or no? Just out of curiosity.
It can have like a slow regrowth. So mine has had like maybe a centimeter of a regrowth. Okay. But that's pretty much it. As long as you like exercise it.
Oh, like keep it moving.
Yeah.
That's pretty dope. Okay.
Yeah.
And so what do you do on your free time as far as like when you're not tattooing?
I love to spend it with my daughter and my family and, you know, my significant other. So it's just like my downtime. I like to like spoil myself and just go shopping, get a coffee, chill, and then of course get back to emails, which takes forever.
So it's like never really like a kind of chill time for you in a sense because it's always in the back of your head type of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm always thinking about like, God, what's my next move? Do I need to get back to this person? What's my tattoo gonna be in 2 days and all that?
Okay. And is your girl? Do you like to dress her up as a girly girl? Do you like to spoil her a lot, or?
I don't like her being so girly girl.
No?
Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But for the most part, I'm like, we're just gonna put some like pigtails on, put you in all black, and you're just like mom.
Oh shit. And did you ever see yourself having a kid right now? That's a big question, right?
You know, I did.
Oh shit.
I did. I actually wanted to have a kid young, so that when I, of course, got older, I could enjoy life, as everybody, you know, suggests. Sometimes you always see like those TikToks sometimes with like people being like, "Oh yeah, I had my kid at like 18, and now in my 30s, I'm relaxing." Yeah. And I'm like, well, I had her at 21, so.
It's not even that bad.
No, it's not. So it's pretty good. I love it.
And then you had mentioned that your baby daddy is a tattoo artist as well. So how'd you guys meet? What's the backstory on that, if you don't mind?
He was actually my boss. Yeah.
So one thing led to another type of thing?
Yeah, he was my boss. And then we just like hit it off, started dating, and then Yeah, we had our kid, and then we split. So, but he's a good dad, and he's a good shop owner. I have a lot of appreciation for him after, of course, everything that we had to go through. Yeah,
that's kind of tough, right? Having that work love intertingle.
Mhm. Yeah, people say don't shit where you eat.
Exactly right. Yeah. But let's say hypothetically, if that never had happened, would you still have been at the shop, or would you find yourself somewhere else?
I probably would have found myself somewhere else because I didn't want to stay in that area. I wanted to grow and, of course, move more up north, which now I'm in North Park, so it's kind of ironic.
Okay, there we go. And, like, I guess what's, like, something that, as far as being a tattoo artist, like, working with other tattoo artists that you find yourself, like, kind of like, I wish I would have known this, or damn, they didn't say nothing about this type of thing? Is it like having roommates, or what is that?
Kind of like having roommates. Sometimes people don't like you. And sometimes people are just like intimidated, and some are actually really friendly. I'm lucky enough to like work in a shop full of female tattoo artists that are all LGBTQ, like it's all LGBTQ owned and operated, so they're very open and welcoming, and I love it there.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
So it's all tattoo, like all female tattooers.
Yeah. There's only like two men there, maybe 3. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's pretty dope. That's fucking dope. How'd you find that? Just like roaming around or what?
Yeah, I was just like looking at other shops because I was at the time I was working in Pacific Beach, and I was like, you know what, I need to move. I need to get out of here. It was also too like far from my house. So I was like, I want something closer, and I found that shop, and I went and had a meeting, and I just loved it right off the bat. I was like, this shop is so big. I have enough space for like me and my clients. It doesn't feel like I'm bumping into anybody and getting anybody's way, so it's nice.
Okay. And then I guess what's something that you wish you would have known like before tattooing? If you would have known everything that you know now, would you still continue being a tattoo artist, or would you have found yourself doing something else?
I wish I knew that it was going to be so competitive, and you're not going to get the same love that you might give to other artists. I wish I knew that, but I still probably would have gone into it. Of course, yeah. So I like to prove myself wrong, or right, or whatever.
Well, to think about it, you started, 19, 18 tattooing, and look where you're at, right?
Yeah.
So it's a great accomplishment for overall. Mm-hmm. You're doing well. You're living on your own. A lot of people can't say that, like myself.
Yeah.
So, I mean, talent speaks for itself. So that's pretty dope.
Thank you.
And do you do, like, other work, like shirt designs? Like, I noticed that you did, like, a plaque of a horror night plaque. That was pretty dope.
Yeah, I do a couple of those. I haven't done one in a while, but I've also done some vans. Those were actually designed for my daughter's dad, but I took them back.
Yeah, like
I was like, these are too cool, and you don't need them anymore. But I have those, and yeah, I just like work on little art projects. I want to do T-shirts though. I do.
You should. You're fucking dope.
I just can't decide on
just like
logo or something. Yeah.
Mm. And when do you find yourself like in a like artistic block? What do you do? Like,
I like to look at other people's art.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like that is what really inspires me, because I'm like looking at people's art and I'm like, God, why can't I apply this? And then I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna apply it to my work, and then I do it, and I'm like, nice.
Okay.
Sick.
So what would you say you're mostly known for, like yourself? Like if you were to put yourself like, hey, like I feel like I'm the best at this, what would it be?
I feel like right now it's the mini portraits.
Yeah.
But I do, of course, I want to be known for like doing more face portraits and being good at that. Yeah.
Okay. And what's something that you find yourself like, shit, like, is it the shading that people kind of stray away from face portraits? Because I know if you have the shadows off, it just throws everything off. Even though if you have the shape outline correct, it's just the shadow that kills it, right?
Yeah, you need that smoothness. A lot of people can't do that. Okay. Some people can, or they just choose not to go like the darker route to put in those contrasts so that it can stay for a longer while later down the road,
Okay. And then, so as you're getting more popular by demand, how do you like raise your rates? Like, how does that like, do they teach you that in the mentorship, like about pricing or nothing?
No, they don't teach you anything about that. And every now and then I'll like ask my coworkers, I'm like, hey, do you think I'm like charging enough? And they're like, nope. I'm like, well, like, also I don't want to feel like I'm like ripping people off, because there's a lot of that in the industry.
Yeah.
I've seen that time and time again where people just like, not to talk shit or anything, but like they're not that good at tattooing, and they're like over here charging $1,000 for a freaking portrait, and I'm like, I could never do that.
So you try to keep it reasonable. You try to keep it like like realistic. All right, it is for what it is. All right, that's pretty dope. But wouldn't you want eventually, like, let's say you are popular by demand, to like people pay for your work, or do
Yeah.
you still feel like that's something that you would try to keep it moderate?
No, I do need to adjust like my pays and stuff like that.
Yeah,
You
so
know, my hourly work.
that money subject is always kind of a weird thing, right? Because
Yeah.
you know, like you want to find yourself at a suitable lifestyle, but at the same time, you don't want to be known as that pushover kind of, right?
Yeah, definitely not. And I feel like a lot of people do that too. They like look at me and they're like, "Oh, she's like a little freaking girl. It'll be fine," and just like negotiate with her. And then I cave in sometimes, and I'm
shit.
like, "God damn it, why did I do that?"
That's funny. It's so weird because like if you underprice yourself, you could be seen as like not great either, right? Which is a weird aspect of it too.
Yeah, there's like this quote that goes around like, what is it called? It's like, I don't know, cheap tattoos. I don't know, something like along those lines, but with pay in it. I can't think of it off the top of my head.
No worry, I'll look it up. That's crazy. So going from there, I mean, I'm just like finding the rhythm right here. Gremlins, are you into the 90s?
Yes.
Right,
This was actually, I have a tattoo of it right here on my thigh.
Oh shit.
I have Mogwai on me. But this is like my movie that my dad got me into. It's just stuck around.
Okay. So you find yourself more into the 90s type of theme area, like if you were to go that route?
Yeah, I feel like people kind of like put me in that little box right there too, because they're like, "Oh, you kind of look like Chola, but then you kind of like look like emo," and I'm like, I don't know what I am, but
That's funny. And then, but like going to that Chola thing, you had mentioned that you kind of had got into a scruffle the other night.
yeah.
All right, drama.
That was fun for some shit I did not do.
Was that the first ever scuffle that has ever happened with you, or you found yourself in that type of environment?
No, that was the first time.
Yeah?
No, I keep to myself, like I said. Like, I don't look for anything, and I keep my circle very small, obviously, because I don't like drama and all that crap.
Yeah, who does?
Yeah. So that caught me off guard the other night, but we're taking measures now.
Oh yeah, you should. I mean, take recompussion. But yeah, that's crazy. And like, which is weird. Going back to that, like, this whole subject of women like kind of like being jealous. Do you feel like that happens a lot more often to you? Like,
it does. I feel like if I'm working with male artists, it's usually their wives or girlfriends that are all like, "Why are you working with her?" And I'm like, I'm not doing anything. I'm just saying what's up to the homie, you know? And that just kind of like, that's hard. That's very hard in the industry. And then also I have like my guy clients, whenever they bring in their girlfriends or whatnot, they're like staring at me the whole time, like I'm gonna
do something,
flirt with their man in front of them or something.
Yeah. And like, do you feel like that's like pretty like, is that like mentally stressful for you as well? Like, does that add applied pressure while you're tattooing? Do you feel like those eyes are on you, or you just like kind of like zone it out?
I definitely feel like those eyes are on me, but I do zone it out, because at the end of the day, I'm just doing my work. You know.
And if you ever find yourself in a situation where like a guy is flirting with you, or do you like calculate the tip, like a better tip, or do you just like shut it down?
I don't know. I get so awkward. I don't like confrontation. I really don't. It scares me. I'm like, I feel like if I say shut up, you're not gonna give me a tip. But then I'm like, this is making me so uncomfortable, man. Like, what are you doing?
Has it ever gotten to that point where like you got really uncomfortable? Like, maybe you just gotta hurry up this tattoo.
No.
Nah.
No. I don't think so.
Yeah, see, it happens to me all the time.
Yeah, I'm just like, anytime that does happen, I'm like, oh yeah, my boyfriend.
And you just throw it out there. There you go.
I'm like, what?
And how's that been, like the dating life for your new boyfriend?
It's been pretty good. My man works like 3 jobs more than me, so I like barely see him. Yeah.
Oh, so you just like you like that busy life in a sense.
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I'm like, if I'm grinding, I like my man to grind kind of stuff. Well. Yeah.
And what's something that you caught your eye for him?
I've known him for a couple years. I actually met him through my daughter's dad, which is kind of, I know.
No, nothing wrong.
Yeah, he was like my friend for the longest, and obviously after like our separation, he was kind of in my friend zone for a while, and then we just kind of started dating. We've had like a couple times where we've like broken up, But I feel like now I'm at that point in my life where I'm like, I want a steady relationship and I want to grow with somebody. And of course, like have that family lifestyle and marriage and all that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like working on that with him, which has been a little difficult, but
Does he ever get jealous?
sometimes, because he knows me and I, like he likes to say, I'm like attention seeking.
Mm.
My daughter's dad like to say that too. I'm like,
Nah.
yeah.
I wouldn't. Nah, I wouldn't think that at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I think like relationships are definitely hard in a sense because you do. Like my partner, she tells me like don't do something that you would like to be done. But
Yeah.
sometimes I can be very naive. I admit that. Sometimes I am stupid and I don't see it for it there in the moment. And you're like, oh, maybe you were right.
Yeah.
And like it's it's tricky. I mean, that's why relationships are up and down. But like how like me like dating somebody that doesn't have a kid, like that's a different ballpark as well. Like I don't know if you're in the same ballpark, but it's like you know you're learning boundaries, right? You're learning on what can be acceptable, what can't be acceptable. Like I've been on the opposite side where I didn't have a kid and I was dating someone with a kid, and it's scary, right? I mean,
Yeah, I'm lucky. Like my man does have a kid, but
Okay.
she's like 12, so
Okay.
she's grown and she's actually way taller than me.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so I'm scared of her. But he knows what it's like, and he's been separated from her since, their daughter was a baby. But he always like talks me through like if I'm having like any difficulties within, co-parenting. He like just talks to me about it.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, just go this route. This is gonna be the best. And
Also,
whatever.
he's actually helped out and give you some insight.
Yeah.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
that's pretty dope.
Yeah.
And do you ever get like crazy baby mama drama or no?
No,
Even better.
not towards me. I mean, it's probably toward like him,
towards
but
him. That's pretty
I
dope.
don't get it.
Oh,
I mean, I like the one thing I don't have to worry about too is like she's not small like my kid. She's big. She's grown. She can.
And how's that like dating like someone with an older kid? Like
It's pretty good. She's like my best friend. I love her. Yeah. She's awesome.
Okay, and let me ask you this: if you would have any advice to somebody that's getting into that type of role, what would you tell them?
Patience is key.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. It's so hard to work past like being okay with somebody having, a baby mama or a baby daddy around because they're always going to be around your kid,
Yeah.
And obviously there's history and stuff like that. So it's difficult, but you just got to be patient. You got to work towards what you want.
Mm. Yeah. There we go. Now we know.
Yeah.
Okay. And so I don't know, unless you have anything else you want us to top off. I mean, we're learning as we go.
Yep.
Is there anything for people that were interested in getting tattoos, like that don't know what to get a tattoo? What would you recommend them not to do or think about?
Don't go on Pinterest. Stop going on Pinterest and looking at other people's tattoos. Just like gather some ideas. Like, I want this, and that. Give it to your artist and be like, do your thing. Because the more creative freedom you give us, the more awesome your tattoo is going to come out and customized for you. It's going to have more meaning,
And what about don'ts? Like, what's something that you guys don't like?
Copying tattoos.
Copying tattoos.
Yeah. Yeah. Do not plagiarize your tattoos. Don't do that. It's horrible.
And what about if you're someone? Let's say you did a customization for somebody, right? And they didn't like it. Where do you stand on that?
That hasn't happened to me. So, but usually I'll show them the design like beforehand. So if they do want any adjustments or anything like that, we can always talk about that and then reschedule while I redesign it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty much it. Unless you got anything else to say, we're all done.
Yeah.
Huh? Thank you for coming out.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. And we're done.